Morena whānau, we've got Kruze Tangira on line today. Welcome, Kruze.
Morning, thank
good
you.
Good to have you on. You've been a busy boy the last couple of weeks. We've been hearing your commentary on netball and so forth. And congratulations, first of all, on how well your team went, even if it had to play without you. They played very well on a 3-game series against a woman. It would have been a great amount of pride to you.
It did, yes, it did. I mean, obviously gutted that I couldn't be down there and playing, but I was still involved doing the commentary. But it was so cool to see them come away with that final win. We may have lost the series, but I think that last game really showcased just how good male netballers are and what we can do out on court.
They only got together very late in the piece, and putting a team together under those circumstances where the Aussie players couldn't get back and your Auckland guys couldn't go down and all that sort of thing. So bringing a team together at such short notice and replacements would have been even more difficult to get a team to bond together and to gather teamwork, eh?
Yeah, it was a huge ask for this team to, I guess, win the series because, like you said, Terry, they only came together 3 days before the first game, and then 4 of those players were brought in right in the last moment. So I think they only had maybe 2 or 4 trainings together, and then they played the Silver Ferns. So, you know, despite odds being against the team to win, I thought they did amazingly. They really competed strongly against the Silver Ferns, really gave them a good run for their money. And they should be proud of the performance that they put out on court too.
Your goalkeeper, now, it's God something is his name. What was it again?
God
White.
Yeah.
Now, I thought he played brilliantly against Grace Nweke, and he seemed to frustrate her a little bit, and I thought, well, this is good practice for when they play the Australians, because that's exactly what they're going to do to her. How do you feel about his method of defending her?
Yeah, I think he played outstanding in that last game. She came on in the second game, and I thought she probably had the better of him in that game. She was a lot more present and was really pulling in the ball, and the feeders could find her a lot easier. But then he came back in that third game and really shut down that connection between the mid-quarters and the shooters. He was just really in everything. He was hustling for the ball. He was being thrown on the ground here and there. I think he did a really good job. He's one of the most experienced male netballers in the country. You know, he's been around the scene for, I think I'd say 20 plus years. So he understands the ins and outs of netball. But yeah, he really led by example in that defensive end for the men.
Yeah, you could see he had put a lot of thought into how he was going to play her, and you could see the frustration on her face at getting pushed around by that bloke. He wasn't too keen on it, but that's the way they're going to have to play against Australia, though. The Australia are a physical team, and they don't bow down to nobody. So good experience for her.
Yes, yeah, definitely. We know what Australia is like. They don't hold back. They give it everything that they've got. So all these learnings Grace will take away, and she'll understand how to better approach, defenders like that, and how she can manage her own self in tough moments. So I think there'd be a huge amount of experience that she'll take away from the 3 tests.
Now at the other end of the court, of course, is the big tall bloke. How tall is he?
I think he stands at 2 meters exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's
a big fella.
Yeah. He's and solid as well. Got like such a big build. Not only is he tall, but he has a really strong hold on him. So it was tough for those defenders to really get around the body and contest. He shot 100%, I think, in the second game, and only missed 1 goal in the third game. So yeah, he's a phenomenal shooter.
Well, Karen Berger was working her guts out trying to defend him, and there was nothing you couldn't ask for any more from her. She just threw herself everywhere trying to, save any sort of opportunity that she would get, but it just didn't have much effect on him. But you can't doubt her effort. It was fantastic.
Yeah,
and,
well, she was great. No, yeah, I was just going to say she was great. Yeah.
So some of the newer players that came into the Silver Ferns team, looking objectively at the team, what impressed you? Matodo, she's obviously a genuine future long-term player, but of the others, some of those younger ones, do you see long-term futures for them when the full squad gets back together?
Yeah, I think the shooting end in particular was probably the biggest concern for Nolene Tauroa, just understanding who could really stand up in pressure moments, not just against the men, but also against England in the series that they had a couple of weeks ago. I think some stood up. Tiana Matudo absolutely was one of them. I thought she was probably one of, or if not the most consistent shooter out of all of them. Grace Wiki also stood up as well. And then there's probably, I guess, for lack of a better word, doubts around the other shooters, because they were just so inconsistent. One sort of quarter they would be amazing, and the other quarter they would be probably not the best. I think the best shooting stats from those other shooters was, I think, like 75%. The rest were shooting around 50%. So it's not a good look for the shooters. And we have to remember players like Emilia and Ekanasio are still out as well. So
obviously she's going to go back, and then when she's available, she's outstanding. Maya Wilson, she's got a little fault in her shot now. That ball that doesn't quite have enough power on it to get over the rim. Is that a confidence thing, or is it she got her technique not good, or it just seems that balance is on the edge all the time?
Yeah, I think I was actually lucky enough to sit next to Nolene in one ANZ Premiership game, and she was playing, and Nolene noticed that her release of the ball was too far behind her head. She needed to bring it a little bit more forward. And I think that's what's happening when she is getting those shorter shots, that she's releasing it too far behind your head, so it doesn't have the same amount of power if you release it in front of your head. So that's probably, but I do feel like it's confidence. I feel like she allows the defenders to get into her head too easy, and I think that's probably a mental thing that she needs to work on. But I thought she was good. I thought her performances were a bit mixture, like that some were good, some were not so good. But I do believe that she probably still has a foot in that Silver Ferns outfit come games next year.
Okay, let's hope she can get over that little problem, because it becomes a mental thing, then you're really in trouble. It's like, dartitis, if you know what that is. I mean, it's a position when you're playing darts, you can't release the dart. Like, and that's quite a problem for dart players. So there are things like that happen in other sports like golf and stuff. When they're putting a ball, it's becomes a real long-term problem. So so let's hope that they can get over that. Looking at your career, Kruze, I know you worked. You were in Air New Zealand prior to the what would you call it, the restructuring of Air New Zealand, and then you were on overseas trips and that, going away and doing all that sort of stuff, and then it all came to an end when the redundancies and all that sort of stuff came along, and you picked your career up, and now you've taken some other. Tell us a little bit about what's happened in your life since you finished at Air New Zealand.
Yeah, so while I was flying at Air New Zealand, I also did my degree, and my degree's in performing arts. So the pandemic hit, and we all lost our jobs at Air New Zealand. I sort of just had to make a choice. I was sort of forced into a choice, but in a good way, whether or not to really give my performing arts side of my life a good crack, or whether to just sort of go back to a 9-to-5 job. And I chose the first option, was to really give my performing arts go a good crack. So from there, I've really just jumped into trying to be in front of the camera as much as I can. And thankfully, Sky picked me up last year to commentate and present the netball. And then I've done a couple of commercials here and there. I've done, a couple of documentaries as well. So I'm sort of just I think where I see the next chapter of my life heading is really much in that performing arts sector, really giving more time and energy to that part of my life, and trying to give achieving my dreams a really good crack. So it's been good so far. It's been, I would say, slow, but you just got to keep going. It's one of those industries where you get told no 99 times and get told yes once. So you just have to really stay motivated and stay determined, and just have that belief and trust in yourself.
Yeah. Oh, well, we wish you all the best in following your dreams. And it's obviously, when that happens, we'll see more and more of you on the tally. But what you're doing at the moment, it's always Kruze is on, and everyone runs in front of the TV and so forth. And probably when you were at school, I didn't sort of notice you in the artsy sort of thing. You're more sports orientated. You're one of our top basketball players at school, and whatever you did, you were it's in your genes, I suppose. The Tangira family is very sporting, and you were right up there with the best in your family. So you've gone from that physical sporting life to more this in front of the camera sort of totally different aspect of life, eh?
Yeah, well, I think even growing up, Terry, like I've always been doing things differently. As you know, most of my family played rugby and league their whole lives, and I obviously did netball, and then I got into the whole performing arts thing. And I was doing performing arts. I went to stage school when I was younger, back in Taranaki, and did all these different things. But I sort of kept it on the down low because I didn't want to be, I don't know, I guess outed as being this person that was doing so many different things and not following the norm. But now that I look back on it, I'm like, oh no, that was probably the best thing that I could ever do, because it's just really shown my independence and made me do what I really want to do and what makes me happy. So yeah, netball will always be a part of my life probably, but it's not where I see myself being. I really see myself being in the performing arts sector, possibly moving overseas and trying things over there. So it's exciting, nerve-wracking, but exciting.
When you're at school, you must have kept that pretty quiet, because I never even knew you were going. I used to see you every day.
Yeah, I know. I kept it really quiet.
Yeah, well, see, you don't know everything, but it's good to see that you've had the positive results, and you've gained success in that, and you do come across as very neat. I thought I say it, photogenic, because on TV and you look very smart. And as I said before, that the wardrobe people certainly know how to dress you up. And
that's me. That's all my own doing, so I'll take credit for that.
Oh, did you? I thought you had a wardrobe and that you.
Not this one, because of COVID, we couldn't have any makeup or we couldn't have any wardrobe because of the restrictions here in Auckland. So that was all my own clothing and all my own styling. So I'll take credit for that.
No, I thought, geez, I thought, shit, our wardrobe have done a good job here. They really spruced him up. And that's 100% Kruze Tangira.
Yeah, that's all me. That's all me. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. Yeah, very fashion conscious.
Oh,
Jan's over here. She's over here making comments. Yeah, she. So the netball scene. Getting back to that, we've had young males being allowed to play in the netball here in the netball scene in Taranaki, and we have got a young student at Waitara High. Dominic's his name, playing for Tyson's East. That's the Premier One team.
Yeah.
And doing very well. He's a champion young bloke, and for someone and they them themselves winning the competition this year. Although he didn't play in the final, he injured himself and he had a bad sprain in his ankle. But yes, more and more young fellas getting into the game and being able to play. I think it's up to 16. I think they can play up to those 16. And he played defense, very mobile, aerial, positive young bloke. So
I've seen him play actually when I came back home a couple of times to do some work with Lungi. So I've seen the kind of talent he is, and he's amazing. And there's actually a really good core group of boys in Taranaki that have so much talent, and I'm looking forward to the nation to be able to see them. Like people like Thompson Mardiku, he's fantastic. Kruze Mason, I don't know if you know him, but he's another great player. But like Lungi and Ray Tudor, they're doing an amazing job of just supporting these netball players, as well as Netball Taranaki, Pia and Jakwa. They're doing a great job as well. So I'm happy to see the growth and the development of netball players, male netball players back home. It's like I said, I was sort of the only one that was doing it back in the day. So
yeah, that's right. My granddaughter, they had their team. They had a young fella from I think he might have been from down the coastway somewhere, but he wanted to play too, and he couldn't get a team because they didn't have a team in his school. Yeah. So someone rang up and asked if he could play with Rosie's team, and they put him in there. And didn't take him long. He ended up being really good too. He's only about 14, young Maori boy. He's a lover too. Though there's obviously a growing netball fraternity there, and I suppose the next thing they'll be having full on, male tournament. Yeah. Well, we used to have them at school anyway. On the TSSA days, special days when Coach McKean would run his netball days. He'd have the boys competition. Auntie and all them would play, and would just throw a team together. But it ended up all the spectators will go and watch the boys play. The ball going from one end of the court to the other, and people are flying around intercepts. I
think that's one of the draw cards of having males on TV at the moment is that not many of the public have seen males play netball, so there's this perception that we aren't good or that we don't have the talent. But when they watch it, that perception changes and is really positive. So the Capri Netball Series and other exposure events are doing a great job of just growing the I guess respect for the men's game.
You could see it with your team, the Aotearoa men's team, the triangles that they were playing were just that snappy. There was just a little bit of more quickness in that transfer of the ball between those three players, and it was that type of speed that probably the women's game hasn't quite got to, and they could, the more they play, it's the old story. If you're going to you want to learn something, go and play with the best, and to those power passes that they whip around there, it certainly lift their form. So I can see the old Noel Lane tapping, ringing up again and saying, "Look, we need some more games and throw a team together and let's get together."
I think it's confirmed for next year again. So
cool.
Don't know where. But I do think there's a high possibility that there'll be another Capri Series next year, possibly before they go to the Commonwealth Games. So that'll be amazing if that goes ahead.
Yeah. Well, we got the benefit of it the last time we played the Aussies, didn't we?
That's right.
What do you think of Giljury?
Kelly
Jury, What do you think of her game?
Yeah, good. I'm really impressed. I thought she did
Mm,
great over the three matches. Sorry, she especially going from ANZ into the Silver Ferns. Sometimes it can be a bit of an adjustment, but she was
yeah,
awesome. She was really, challenging Jay Gilder. That's a 2 meter shooter for the men
yeah, yeah,
quite well, and she wasn't afraid to contest the ball. She was getting tips here and there. She's got a really good
yes.
strength over the shot as well. So I
Long
think she'll be
arms. Yeah.
yeah, I think she'll be one of the defenders in the Silver Ferns come next year when they head
Mm.
to the Commonwealth Games.
Well, she certainly made a comeback after being dropped from the squad
Mm.
with Rore, Katrina
Mm.
Rore, and her got dropped out for not having the fitness levels there a couple of years ago. So
Yeah,
she's obviously worked hard to get back, and you can actually see the benefits in her game. Her work rate's quite good. She spends a lot more time out in the mid court than defending in wider areas. And as you say, her long arms allows her to get those tips.
yeah,
So it's good to see Taranaki girl going being so successful.
yeah. That's right. It's good to see some Taranaki players on the scene. So yeah, it's exciting.
Mm. Okay, mate. Well, obviously, with we were talking about someone who lived near you. You know Cassidy? Someone Cassidy. They used to live by around your way somewhere. Tracy Rupapera. Do you know her?
No, the only
Tracy.
Liverpoolers I know is like Brooke and Jordan,
Yeah,
and
Brookie and him down the yeah, yeah,
I don't know any.
yeah. Yeah, no, I was talking to someone at the station saying, "Oh, they know you, their family." I think she said she was a Cassidy prior to marrying a Rupapera. But
Oh,
no, Alana.
Alana
Hmm?
Cassidy?
I don't know.
No. Oh, I don't know.
No, no, I'm not too sure, but I just thought the name might spark a near. But I'll chase it up a little bit and see. I'm sure they like to make contact with you.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so now that the season's over virtually, how do you plan spending your time?
Oh, wow, that's a good question. Well, it depends on what happens with lockdown, really. If we possibilities that we could be in lockdown until maybe Christmas, who knows? So
Oh,
a
yeah,
lot more time on my hands. Yeah, I'll probably keep training in case Nationals goes ahead. Not probably. I will keep training
yeah,
in case Nationals goes ahead. But then the Mystics start their preseason in December too, I think. So
yeah, yeah.
I'll be joining that as well. So yeah, there's still little things happening around that will keep me occupied and keep me busy. But definitely a lot more time on my hands with being in
Mm.
lockdown and all that kind of thing.
Yeah, would have been a proud moment, being part of the Mystics, winning the ANZ. And what's your role in that team?
So I'm just like an equivalent of a training partner. So every Wednesday and Friday, I go to the team trainings. Sorry,
Yeah,
Wednesday morning I do weights with the team, and then Wednesday night we have a training, and then Friday morning we have a training. So those three sessions I'm with the team, and it's basically just to obviously help them and push them a bit more, but also to develop my game and I guess experience the environment of being in a professional team like the Mystics and what
yeah, yeah.
comes along with that. Like I had access to the physio, I had access to obviously the coaches, I got all the gear. So yeah, just trying to sort of give me an experience of being a professional
Mm,
netballer, but not
yeah.
at the same time. So yeah, it was awesome. It was really cool. So grateful to Helene and Sully Fitzpatrick who sort of made this opportunity happen for me. And
Oh,
like I
they
said,
the ones that did they invite you in, or were they looking for some of your skills to sort of
well,
pump
they
up
just had
their
a
own
conversation
stuff?
about me. They were like, "What would you think if Kruze joined the Mystics?" And then they were both really interested. And then Sulu got in contact
Yeah,
with me, and she said, "Look, this opportunity's come up. Are you keen?" And I'm like, "Yeah, absolutely." So yeah,
yeah,
that's sort of how it came about. It was actually quite quick, to be honest.
yeah. Oh, well,
Mm.
it'll help with your fitness too, getting those extra workouts in there. You don't have to get out on the road and do your own stuff. You can jump in with them. Yeah.
And they've got a strength and
Oh,
conditioning coach as well, so it's like perfect. It's really
yes.
helpful. Yeah.
Yeah. You were in the gym. You've been in the gym for a while now, though.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
have.
How the weights going? All right.
Yeah, good. They're good, getting stronger and stronger. My friend here in Auckland has a outdoor gym, and we're allowed to do outdoor classes in
Yeah.
lockdown. So I've just been doing that since lockdown started. But it's not the same as going to an actual gym and having everything around you to use. But
Not as
yeah,
good as going upstairs at the White that High School gym.
yeah, all that, yeah, all going to top ends, yeah. So it's good. It's good. Yeah.
So your family's all in Australia now, and I suppose not being able to get over and see them is a bit of a bummer. But yourself, you have a lot of contact with mum and dad.
Oh yeah, all the time. I'm always calling them and ringing to see how they are. As I said to you, Tiz, on the weekend we've got a new nephew in the family, so the calls have been a lot more frequent recently. So no, it's been good. They love Sydney. Initially, they went to Sydney to support Ethan and Stacey in their league, but since I've stopped playing, they've really just, I guess, gravitated towards the city and the energy that city brings. And I do think they'll probably move home soon. I think they've been away for coming up 10 years, so I feel like
10 years.
They'll move home soon and just sort of start settling back into Aotearoa. But keep in contact with them all the time. They're doing well, and it's good to see.
Oh well, if you're talking to them, send our thoughts and love to them. We always, there was downtown last night with Stacey O and having a bit of a talk about some of the old times, and we've been looking at some old photos and stuff when Stacey had his long dreads and so forth like that. And I was thinking about Willie and how they played so much footy together. Okay, Kruze. Look, mate, it's always good to talk to you and watching your career develop, and you've done us proud. You're always one of us, brother. So you keep the good work up, and we'll keep watching and following how your progress is made. Might see you on the big movie one day. What do you reckon?
Well, that's the plan. So hopefully. But I mean, there's so much talent back home in Waitara, and I guess my hope for that, if any talent or rangatahi, is watching this, is that they just have that belief in themselves to get out of Waitara and really chase their dreams. Waitara will always be there. Waitara will always be home. Yeah. But if you really want to make something of your life, you really need to get out and start making those opportunities for yourself. So regardless if it's sport or whether it's art or academic, just know that there is opportunities out there, and you can definitely make the most of it.
Well, you're certainly showing the way, mate. So keep it up.
Thank you.
And we'll stay in touch. And it's always good, as I say, it's always good to talk to you and letting the people know how well you're doing. And I'm sure a lot of people watch this and think, well done, Kruze.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me, T. It's good to talk to you.
You too, bro. All
right.
Good.
See you later.
Okay, all right.